Good morning. I guess I should really say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening because I know that there's people watching and will watch on the replay that are from the West Coast, some are from the East Coast, and some of my very favorite people are from way over across the pond. So when you get here, whether you're watching live or on the replay, I'd love to hear where you're watching from. Christina's going to be here any minute. You know how Christina is. She likes to make a big entrance. So while we're waiting for her to get here, if you want to let me know where you're watching from and maybe what time it is. Let me know whether it's morning there, afternoon there, or evening there. Today we're going to talk about comfort food. So, ironically, last night I talked about the last 90 days of the year and how that was going to be a hard push to get everybody back in shape and back motivated with eating and working out and getting some everyday exercise, intentional exercise in. Today's about comfort food. So, no judgment. We're going to talk about some foods that. Oh, good morning, Suzanne. Louisiana girl, 11 a.m. It is 10 a.m. here. I'm just going to try and get Christina to join us. And here we go. Technical difficulties. Christina should be here soon, I'm hoping. Christina, are you coming? Right now, let's talk about comfort food. Now, what is food? Comfort food is food that provides a nostalgic or sentimental value to someone. So triggers those memories. Hello, Christina.
Hello, Miss Tracy.
How are you?
I am good.
Perfect. I was just telling these lovely people, I said good morning and then I corrected myself, said good afternoon and good evening because we know that they're watching from all over the place now and we're talking about comfort food. So comfort food is the food that when you eat it, it reminds you of something or someone. So John and I had a great chat this weekend about what our comfort foods were. And ironically, so today I'm representing Canada and the United Kingdom, some of my favorite comfort foods and some of his favorite comfort foods. And Christina's going to share some of hers. So I'm going to let her start.
Okay. Hi, Amy. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Suzanne. I'm gonna go. Mine. I don't think it's like one that like people know a whole lot about, but it's one that just reminds me of something my mom used to make: moose lasagna. No, my mom didn't make moose lasagna. Caitlin just said moose lasagna, and I'm like, no, my mom didn't make that. No. But my mom always made stuff like tuna noodle casserole is one of my favorite. It's probably the only thing I like tuna in. Chicken and dumplings is another one that she always makes. It always makes me think of mom. And another one is goulash. Now we were talking about goulash a little bit before we came on, and my version is probably a little different than other people's. I guess everybody has their own family traditions or whatever. So here's mine, and oops, it's sliding on my plate. And I actually have like another bowl that I was like eating it while I was waiting for you to let me in. What I do, goulash reminds me of something my mom always made, and it's so simple to make, and I used almost all Thrive ingredients with this too as well. I used garlic and avocado oil to fry up my garlic, and then I put in our ground beef and fried that up a little bit, and then I added water, not a whole lot of water because I don't want it to be like a sauce. And then I added sliced onions, red peppers. What else did I put in there? Some more garlic, oregano, salt and pepper. And I actually we could use our tomatoes, but I didn't have any, so I actually used canned tomatoes, which probably would be a little bit better to use because of the juice for the goulash. So I used 2 cans of diced tomatoes and put that in there and just make sure I seasoned it. And then I just cooked it all up, did my noodles, and my noodles are all funky though because my daughter has this thing where she'll leave like little bits, and when I cleaned out my pantry, I had all these little bits of different kinds of noodles. So I've got a mixture in there now because I just had them in a bag. So, and then I just put Parmesan cheese on it, and it's so easy, and it's gonna be our dinner tonight because it is seriously icky weather out. It's raining, it's cold, it's dreary. Hi, Mike. So that's what I mean. That's a comfort food for me. So
I've never had
what do you
goulash.
got?
I didn't even know what it was.
It's really good.
I'm gonna try it. Will you share the recipe?
I will share. Anybody that wants a recipe, hashtag goulash down below.
Oh, now we're hashtagging.
Hashtag. Yeah, I mean we're
Goulash.
fancy, right? We're
Right.
fancy and cool.
Yeah, yeah. So when I think of comfort food, I always think of tomato soup, hot tomato soup, creamy tomato soup. So I wanted to use as much Thrive as I could as well. So simple. All it is our tomato sauce mix with some of our instant milk. So all you need to do is add a heaping tablespoon of both into a mason jar and then pour boiling water over top. So I'm going to try and show you what it looks like. Nah, not going to happen. Right? Not going to happen without spilling it. I did put some into a glass so I could show you. If you didn't want it as creamy, you could absolutely just omit the milk, but my mom always made it with milk, so I made it with milk as well. Now, tomato soup is only good if you can dip something into it. So I made a couple loaves of bread last night because you'll see the bread shows up in a few of my items this morning. But again, easy peasy. I used our bread dough mix. That's it. All you need to do is add a little bit of yeast and water and you're good to go. So I made grilled cheese fingers. I did use plastic cheese, confession. Plastic cheese is the cheese that comes in the plastic wrapper, and the plastic wrapper is probably healthier than the cheese inside. But I was out of our cheddar, and plastic cheese is what triggers that memory in me. We didn't have Thrive growing up. It was that plastic cheese. So I did it with plastic cheese. So when I talked to John about doing the tomato soup, he said, yes, tomato soup was definitely one. But he ate it with fried bread. So have any of you out there ever eaten fried bread? Oh, I want to know. I can't see the names because, wait a minute. Let me see who's watching. Oh, I thought maybe Joanne was watching. Fried bread is the craziest thing that Canadians have heard of, and it's the most common thing that they've heard of in England. I don't know. They eat it. So I did it in my bacon grease this morning, so it simply is exactly what it sounds like. It is fried bread. So John wanted that to dip in his tomato soup. So those are my comfort foods, grilled cheese and tomato soup. Everything on here other than the plastic cheese is Thrive.
Plastic cheese. Yeah, it does. It does. That's a from a flashback from your childhood. The fake cheese and whatever. My next one that I made, because I figured it's, I use a lot of cornbread. And our cornbread is delicious and it's so easy to make. And so I made, I'll show you, I've got my cornbread right here. Because I figured tonight with the goulash that would go really great. I was thinking about putting chocolate chips in it. My husband likes it with chocolate chips. And, oh, yeah, he loves cornbread and chocolate chips. I think it's gross, but he likes it. Usually I will make half the pan that way. I didn't today. I was being a mean wife, so I didn't. But another way, huh?
Does it melt in the cornbread?
Yeah. Yep. He used to, when he was like in Iraq, he would talk to the cooks and he'd ask them if they could make chocolate chip cornbread, so they would make it specifically for him, so that when he went through the chow line, he had it. So it's something, I don't know. He's weird. He likes weird stuff. He also eats jelly on cheese, so that tells you how weird he is. But
that's good on biscuits, strawberry jelly on cheese, and no. Okay, we'll do that.
No. Well, not even with a biscuit. He just likes it on the cheese. He will just slice the cheese, and I make homemade jelly, and he'll put it on there, and I'm just like, but that's his thing. So it's just
Elizabeth, did you say that your mom makes fried bread? Is that what you're saying? She makes it when she makes bread every week, or she made it? Fried bread or grilled cheese? Let us know if she made fried bread. I know it's going to take a
I've never
minute.
made fried.
You go on and keep
I've never made
talking, but
fried
we'll
bread.
watch.
Yeah, I've never made fried bread. So anyway, but the cornbread is really one of my other favorite recipes, and I was gonna make that, but I'm like, I didn't want to have that and goulash because it was just gonna be, because a casserole. If you ever made the cream corn casserole with cornbread, and I make the cream corn right out of our corn, and you use regular corn in there as well, and it's so good. It's more of a cornbread casserole rather than you do it with butter, corn, cream. You can do if you don't want to like make cream corn out of our corn, then you can totally just toss in a can of cream corn, and then just use our corn for the filler. But yeah, it's really good like that. It's a really great side dish, and it's just butter, cornbread, and corn. So
That's a whole
really
lot of corn.
It's a whole lot of corn, but it's really good. So anybody wants cornbread recipe? Well, not this recipe, because here's the recipe right there. That's it. Hashtag the can. No, hashtag cornbread casserole. So what else you got? Because I know you outdid me, and she did way more.
No. Oh, okay. So.
Elephant ears.
Okay. I'm trying to read Elizabeth. Hang on. Old age is coming. She did make fried bread, only it was called elephant ears. It was dough pulled out and cooked in what?
Hot oil.
Oh, yeah. Well, hot oil. Yeah, I did bacon grease just because, well, bacon. That's why. I also
you can't mess up with bacon.
Bacon grease because bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah. So, speaking of bacon, when we went over for our first trip over to England, as soon as we got there, John's sister had some food pulled out, and she said, "Oh, we'll just do bacon buddies." And I'm like, "What is a bacon buddy?" And it's just a bacon sandwich. And I thought it was just his family thing, but every time we went over, we had bacon buddies. And when I was researching, when you type something into Wikipedia, it's called researching. But when I was researching comfort food this weekend, apparently one of the UK's top comfort foods is a bacon buddy. So it is homemade bread buttered with bacon because, well, bacon, right? So there's one more of my comfort foods. What else do you have?
You know what that reminds me of? Because now you're just reminding me of stuff. My mom's mom, when my mom just came on, hi, Bobby. My mom's mom, my grandma Fred, she used to make peanut butter and bacon.
Fred?
Her last name was Fredenberg, so we called her Grandma Fred.
Okay.
So, and she used to make toast with peanut butter and bacon. And I know that sounds gross, but it was so good. I mean, I haven't eaten it in years because it's basically like a heart attack on a platter. But it was so good. But it was always chunky peanut butter. She always had to have chunky peanut butter, and she'd do the bacon. So your bacon buddy just kind of reminded me.
I was gonna say, do you think that was maybe because she was trying to get the protein in, but the bacon was protein? Because my grandfather, we used to eat. You ready for this? Peanut butter and Spanish onions. Yeah.
Okay, I got a better one for you.
In my mind, though, of comfort food, but
I got a better one for you that is a major comfort food for me. And like sometimes it has to be the right kind of bread. It has to be really, really soft bread, and is peanut butter with Miracle Whip. The look on your face. I'm not even kidding. Come on, Mom, back me up. Hi, Michelle.
No.
My brother eats it all the time. I don't eat it as often now, but all the time we would eat that.
No, I almost lost my bacon buddy, honey. Woo.
Yeah, you gotta have a big glass of milk.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have anything else?
I do. I was gonna make cookies, but I didn't have enough butter, so I wanted to just kind of talk about our mixes like this. This is really awesome. We have a sugar cookie mix, and we have this, because chocolate chip cookies, I mean, what more is, a comfort food than chocolate chip cookies? Because everybody grew up with chocolate chip cookies. But this is really great because you can do it with a chocolate chip. You can do it with, look at all the nopes and everybody's passion on my peanut butter and Miracle Whip. You can add oatmeal to it. You can do whatever you want. for that. So we have like these that are like your favorites, like the cornbread, all that stuff. And then I made brownies. I love our brownies. They're so easy. You don't need your egg, you don't need your oil, whatever. You just add water, stir it up, and you're good to go. And they're so fudgy and so good. And so they're peanut butter and butter is really good. So I know my mom just said hi. Hey mom, tell them peanut butter miracle whip's delicious. Peanut butter and butter. Peanut butter and butter is good too, because like if you butter your toast and then put peanut butter on it, that's really good too. So it's just, but it's one of those things you don't want to hear.
Peanut butter and honey.
I don't like honey.
Yeah, well, you're odd.
I know. See, look at my mom just said peanut butter and miracle whip is delish. You should try it.
No, thanks.
Yeah, try it.
I like to add egg to mine because they are more cake-like. Oh, to your brownies? Oh, that's a good idea, Michelle.
Yep.
That's a.
You can add applesauce too.
Peter, look, Peter, Bacon Buddy. Peter is my brother-in-law. Bacon Buddy. Yeah. So you did your brownies for dessert, and I did a combination of my childhood, John's childhood. So my mom would make my dad bread pudding probably 3 times a week, but she would make it with raisins and a lot of brown sugar, and then when it was hot, he would just pour milk over top of it. John liked bread pudding, but he does not like raisins whatsoever, but he likes custard on top of it. And if you haven't tried it yet, you can make custard with all Thrive and cornstarch. So all it is it's our scrambled egg mix, our milk, a little bit of sugar. We can't get the sugar in Canada, but we can get sugar in Canada. Sugar and then cornstarch. I took the bread that I made, so this is from the Bacon Buddy, but I took the bread that I made last night. I cut it all up into cubes. Now, the only thing I recommend is if you're ever using our scrambled egg mix for French toast or bread pudding, what will happen is the bread will try and suck all the water out, which will leave you with a sludge of the scrambled egg mix because it will try and separate it again. So if you're going to do that, I just broke up all my bits of bread and I let them soak in milk, so they were already mushed up, right? So they already had moisture in them, so they weren't sucking all the water out of the scrambled egg mixture. I do have a picture of when it came out of the oven all puffed out, but you take it out of the oven and within minutes it's flat again. I sprinkled on, in honor of my dad, a little maple sugar, but here is the bread pudding with the custard on. It is so good. I am not a sweet eater or a bread eater, and I have eaten more bread and more custard this morning than I think I have in 2 years. It's that good. It is fantastic. Probably one of the best things I've ever, well, not invented, but ever made with Thrive that wasn't necessarily intended to be. So bread pudding with custard, a little bit of my childhood and a little bit of John's childhood. And then I'll finish it off with a cup of tea. And that's all I have for today.
Yeah, that's all I have. So I just wanted to give a shout, like just let everybody know we're still looking for anybody that wants to challenge us to use one, a Thrive Life product that you know how to make one thing with and aren't sure what to do with it, to send us in a challenge for the Chit Chat Challenge. All you need is a little video. It doesn't even have to be very long, 30-second video saying, hey, can you, this is what I know how to make with it. What else can I do with this? We'd love to, we love to be challenged to come up with stuff. And she's kind of mean, this one over here, when we get to it. You. She's like, well, I'm not telling you what I'm doing. So she gets all sassy and won't even tell me what she's making. And
we do have one more coming, but it was something that I didn't have on stock, so I couldn't play around with it. So it should be coming in soon. So Michelle, your challenge, we are accepting it. We just had to order it. Saturated, yes. You want the bread to be saturated so it doesn't pull the water out of the scrambled egg mix. But yes, we would love to hear. And if you really don't want to do a video, do one anyways. No, seriously. If you really don't want to do a video, just send us a message and we may get somebody else to ask on video. It's just always nice to have the challenge done. And if not, we'll do it anyways. She's a
I love it.
stickler.
I'm like, huh?
You're a stickler, but I'm very flexible.
Well, yeah, the one that just said, oh, if you don't want to do a video, just do a video. I don't care if you don't want to do a video, just do it. Yeah.
And if you're watching on the replay, please tell us what some of your comfort foods are, because we'd really like to hear it. Let us know also where you grew up. So if you're Canadian, if you're American, if you grew up in the UK, if you grew up in Hawaii, we'd like to know that too, because it's always nice to know how different cultures comfort themselves. Unfortunately, most of the world today comforts ourselves with food. So I'm going to put this stuff away and I'm going to head back to the treadmill, because in case you didn't know, I have 113 days until we go to Panama.
I know I should probably get on that too. Can I come walk on your treadmill with you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for today, I'm Tracy Taylor from Alberta. This is
Christina Rios Tirado from Northern New York.
And we are
the Chatty
Cooks.
One day we'll get that right.
I know. There's a 20-second delay. It's really hard to do. But anyways, have a great day, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you on Thursday when we talk about simple plates.